Hello, everyone. We have roped in an expert to give us some tips on how to pack for a cruise. So this is David from Princess Cruises. And David, you're going to tell us what are your tips? Obviously, we know that, how many cruises would you have done so we can set you up as the expert for this?
I was very lucky. I used to work on board Princess ships, so I lived on board for about 4.5 years, and then since then I've done about 60 cruises out of my own personal, with work and personal as well.
All right. So we have an expert here, folks. So what would be your number one tip for someone who perhaps hasn't really cruised before and they're looking at their suitcase? Do I take the big one? Do I take the little one? Do I take the hard one, the soft one? What's your tip in regards to getting packed?
So I feel like I'm now speaking to people who've never been on a cruise, okay? Because if you've been on a cruise, you kind of understand, right, okay, this is how it works and all this thing. So I'm speaking to people who maybe have never cruised before, and it can seem potentially a little bit overwhelming, okay? Now, the thing is with Princess, we're a premium brand. We do have our formal nights. Now, the great thing about our formal nights, it gives you an opportunity to dress up and kind of celebrate being on board. We'll always have a captain's welcome with a champagne waterfall as a Princess tradition. So if you like that experience of dressing up, make sure you pack something formal. And when you're looking at your itinerary, it will also let you know how many formal nights you will have on board on your cruise. Okay, so you can kind of preempt that. If you are going, I can't think of anything worse, I just want to be in my shorts, my flip-flops and a bintang vest, that's fine. We just say that formal attire for the inside restaurants, but you can still, sit at movies under the stars, maybe get some of the pizza that we have on board, we're the most awarded brand for pizza and all that kind of stuff. So if you want that more casual experience, that's absolutely fine. So the first thing to do is check your itinerary, see how many formal nights you have. When we say formal, you can do the whole thing with the black tie, the beautiful ball gowns for the ladies, or for gents, if you just want that kind of Queensland casual or Queensland business, you don't necessarily need a tie and all the rest of it. But just have a look in the itinerary, and that's definitely the first tip. Secondly, in terms of clothing, do a bit of research. So this can be this can vary quite dramatically. I recently did a cruise in May going to Norway. So it was quite difficult to go, well, May,
what do you pack?
May, is it hot? Because it's their summer. And it was really, really diverse. So what we had to do is do a bit of research, quick Google search, and you'll be able to find out what the best thing to do is. Because when we docked in one port, in Olden, it was -3. And then it was at Christensen, I think, it was something like 28 degrees. So it was really, really, really diverse. And to me, if you're going to be on a cruise that can be very hot or very cold, it's all about layers. Layers is the key to cruising. So make sure you're packing your layers, and also make sure you're packing your swimwear, because across our fleet, even if you're sailing somewhere that's potentially a little bit cooler. A lot of our ships have those indoor pools as well. So if you still want to go for a dunk, have a nice swim, or even go down to our spa, go to the Enclave, something like that, you're going to need a swimming cosy. So swimming cosy is very, very important. Awesome. But just do a bit of research, check that itinerary, and hopefully you should be all packed and ready to go. And remember, you don't need to pack everything for every single day. We have laundry facilities on board.
Fabulous.
You can wash what you've got. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Most important thing is to just enjoy yourself on board.
Now, we do get lots of questions about what power cables, adapters, plugs that people can take. So if you've got any information in that regard.
Whenever our ships are cruising in our local markets, if they're cruising around Australia and New Zealand, we will have those Aussie power points. So that's really, really great. On any international cruise, then we will have the American or European power point. So you're quite good if you've got one of those adapters.
One of those little adapters,
But everything now, what we're trying to do when our ships are going into dry dock, we're trying to add the USB power points, because more often than not, we don't really need the actual full power point. It's just a charge phone.
Fabulous.
So the vast majority of our ships do have those facilities. If you do want to double check, always contact the team here, because they can contact our reservations team, and we can advise whether or not that ship has an Aussie PowerPoint, a US PowerPoint, or a USB. So we can actually provide you with that information.
Now, the other question we get in regards to packing is people will ask us, and I don't know why, because I know what fabulous wine and everything that you have on board, but people will ask, can I take a bottle of wine with me on board? So
of course. And the thing is, if you're celebrating something special, you maybe want to bring on a really special bottle of wine. Potentially you've been cellaring it yourself. Also, if you're going to buy something like champagne, it is a bit cheaper on land than it is on a cruise ship. For obvious reasons, we need to actually get it on the ship and store it and so on and so forth. So every single stateroom per 2 passengers can bring on 2 bottles of wine per stateroom. But it's not capped there. You can bring on 100 bottles of wine if you like. It's anything after the 2, we just add on a corkage fee.
Charge. Yep.
So it's one of those kind of things. We have exquisite wines on board, but if you have something a little bit special and you want to bring on, say, a 6-pack of champagne, which I have seen guests do quite a lot, those first 2 will be complimentary. Anything past that, then you just pay a small corkage.
Fabulous, fabulous. All right. Thank you so much. I think that it's a little bit daunting when it's the first time cruising. I know I certainly overpacked. So, it's great to get an expert to give a few tips and tricks.
100%. It's a bit of the unknown. You don't really know what to expect, but don't be daunted by it. It's very exciting, and I'm sure once you've completed your first cruise, it will be the first of many.
Exactly. Thank you, David.
Thank you.